Welcome to the Galen Show. What up, people? How y'all doing? Hope all is well. Blessed living life with y'all. Appreciate you guys for sticking in with us. I apologize for missing last week. Had a lot going on, but I'm back and better than ever. Hope we continue going. Got this episode and one more, then we're done with season 2. And that's really big for me, and I appreciate you guys for all the support. So the love is sent right back at you guys. So none of this is possible without you. So thank you guys. And if you're going through a lot, man, we hope this episode can bring you a little happiness, a little laughter, and a little chillness to kind of relax your day. So let's get right to it. If you're from the state of Arkansas, this name is pretty big for you. And, you know, whenever I get to interview anyone from Arkansas, I say all the time, man, it's just real fun because you like to see people in state do a lot of good things. So everyone, please welcome Mr. Nick Wenger. Nick, first off, how you doing, man? How's life treating you? I know you're staying busy, but how's life treating you right now, dog?
Pretty good. Can't do much better than how I'm doing now. I'm happy to be on this with you. It should be a lot of fun.
I appreciate that, man. Nick, for the listeners that might not know who you are, man, just give them a brief overview of yourself, where you're from, what you do now, and just some things you've been able to accomplish to help where you are today.
So my name is Nick Wenger. I run Nick Wenger Designs. I take pictures, graphic design, video, do all that kind of stuff. Sports marketing, really, just a general thing. My Instagram following has grown the last couple years due to some of the people I've met and opportunities I've been blessed with. But it's been a journey, and it's a lot of fun.
I want to start first off, you talking about your social media growing. How awesome for you and your family has that been? Because I mean, I've been keeping up personally, and I just know has to be. I mean, I know everyone starts at the bottom, but to see you and your personal brand grow in the state, how fun is that for you? And also, what are the next steps for you in terms of what you're doing now? What do you want to continue doing in terms of bigger things?
So your first part of the question, just how it's gone for me and everything else. It's been great. It's really cool if I'm with my family, and like they all follow and keep up with all my stuff. But it's really cool when we're at a restaurant or something, and someone I know or knows me, or somebody else has a shirt on that I've got. It's really cool that they kind of see it interact and come full circle. They see how much time I put into everything, and just like anything, it takes work, and I put in the work, and it's starting to see some rewards come out of it, I guess you could say. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm definitely blessed to be in the position I'm in. And then I think the second part was my goals for up to coming. So I just started a pretty good thing with Slam.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see how that pans out, but I'm trying to get as many kids as I can on the map, and I think I've had 4 things posted so far this weekend. So I'm doing the best I can on that end, but I mean, I guess for the most part, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and see things grow as much as I can. Some things I continue to do or want to start doing. I just got my real estate license, and I am going to try to turn that into my following I've got. I'm trying to turn it into real estate and see what I can't do there. So
those are 2 big things. Those 2 really big things, because I think high school sports over the last 4 or 5 years has really grown into a big thing as well. And you being a part of Slam is really big, especially I know which you cover North Little Rock, and they're one of the big teams in the country this year. So that's big. I start with, you know, your life stories, but I have one more question before we get to you. And this is still you, but I know one of the things that's big for you, you know, talking about Slam, but it's things such as giving you your recognition. So when you take pictures and then someone else uses them and they don't tag you, etc. Why are little things like that so important, not only for you, but for your brand as well? Because I know it's a big thing, not only for you, but other photographers who use their work and other people use the work and don't give them credit. Why is that so big, and why is that so important for your brand?
Well, first of all, it kind of seems like a two-way street almost because
And
you
Nick,
can.
before you go, I just want to let you know you can say anything, you can cuss anything. So I mean, this is you. So I mean, for real, like, give your honest stuff, man.
Well, in my honest opinion, it kind of goes as a two-way street. Almost like a you scratch my back, I scratch yours because just about everything I get tagged in, I repost it. And for the most part, I have probably a bigger following than the people that are posting this stuff. So for them to get reposted and get them more recognition, that's one of my biggest goals through all this is people build their brands because at the end of the day, it's just sports marketing, and if you're helping me, I want to help you as well. So um, just a simple tag helps me, and it helps them just as much as it helps me because um, I know. I mean, my brand isn't quite where Slam is, but just for an example, a lot of people have been asking me to put Slam on their pictures that I take now, and just their little watermark or a Cassie Athena watermark, people will recognize that, and um, just that little logo, it's branded them into bigger things, and they've grown from everyone else. So I'm trying to get that same platform that they have. I mean, it takes time, but um, I've gotten to where I am now because of the tags and because of people supporting me that way. So it definitely helps.
Appreciate that, man. I want to go into you a little bit more, man. And I think you're kind of big, of course, from your time and being in North Little Rock, and I know that's where you got your brand started and got it growing a little bit. First off, where did that mindset come from? Where did you? Let me rephrase that. Why did you get into photography and what you do now? Where did that idea come from? Was that something that you've always had like in the back of your mind at a young age, or was it kind of something you picked up later on in your lifetime?
So I started making edits just probably when I was around 12, 13 or so on my phone, just kind of messing around, nothing serious. And I played baseball like growing up my whole life. And my freshman year of baseball, I was running to first and got tripped and almost broke my neck. And so I quit baseball then. And I had a lot of free time because I was used to going to practice all the time. And I love being around sports, but I'm not very big, so I can't play football. I don't match the build for a basketball player. So, and I mean, I grew up playing basketball with my friends and football stuff in the backyard, but nothing enough to just pick up and play for North Little Rock. Like,
Yeah.
so I wanted to be a part of just sports in general and stuff. And I started making edits a little more seriously around then. My apps on my phone actually quit working. So the edits I were making were getting too large for the apps, and my phone was crashing, freezing up. And so I had to figure out how to work stuff on the computer. I figured it out, and in 11th grade, I had a history teacher that was the linebackers coach in North Little Rock, Coach Clawton. He's done a lot for me over the years, kind of helped me really get going. And I didn't know how to work a camera. I had photography class, but anyone that had those classes in high school were just in there to get the A. Like no one cared about the actual photography part, and I was one of them. I didn't pay attention at all, and he wanted me to come to a spring game. I took pictures at the spring game. They were horrible pictures.
Mhm.
Like I have a couple of them still, but they're awful. And yeah, I the coach, Coach Mitchell at the time, the head coach, he was like, if you work with us and you put in a lot of effort, like a lot of work, and you grow and you going to like this and start to like it and make this thing, then I'll work on getting some of your college paid for. And it was pretty cool. I toured Fayetteville. Like I saw all the behind the scenes stuff and met their graphics people. I went to UCA on some visits, toured all their football facilities. And UCA offered me more opportunities, more freedom. They offer more money, so I went to UCA and made the most of my time. As met a lot of people, had a lot of cool experiences, but it's just been one thing after another, and it's been really hard to predict the future and see where things are going. So, kind of in the same situation now. But everything's happening and panning out pretty nicely, so I can't really complain.
As you're getting started and you talk about UCA, when throughout this time do you start like really thinking that I could become a bigger thing in this world that you're a part of right now?
Um, first started at UCA, I didn't have any intentions doing that. Like, I did some stuff with Stanford here and there when I was first starting. Like in my senior year of high school, freshman year of college, I was doing graphics for Stanford's football team, and I kind of saw like a glimpse of hope almost in it. I thought my stuff was good, but I didn't think it was to that level. And to get that kind of recognition and to work with professionals as a senior in high school, it was kind of cool to see some potential start to come to life, really. And yeah, I mean, really, Collin Moore with North Little Rock, I've met him. We're still good friends to this day. He really kind of opened my eyes up to everything. I did stuff with the Woodz Elite, and I just did stuff with the Woodz. But I was around, Cole Anthony and Jalen Green and all these people, and I saw Slam and stuff doing their things. And my first year, I was kind of just getting my feet wet, and then my second year with the Woodz and the high school basketball season right after that, Wood's first year, I really became good friends with Devo and Jalen Williams and all them, and it started, opening up that way, and that helped a lot. Devo really played a big role in getting my brand going, and really got my feet going and got it rolling.
Talk about what first you won your connections, because it's a part of my field too that I'm trying to get into and grow into. That's one of the biggest things, and I think social media plays a big part into that as well, is connections and growing with other people. So talk about some of your connections. You just talked about Collin Moore helped you a lot, and Devo Davis, of course, as well. And also talk about the travel part, because I know you travel a lot. I know you go to a lot of high school games in the state. I know you've been to a lot of Razorback games this year. Talk about the travel part and what's been the most fun part about that, and what's been the favorite place you've been to.
So you asked a lot of questions at once. The first one was some of the connections. I mean, for the most part, just about any athlete that's came through Arkansas since my senior year of high school, really, I've reached out to, I'm friends with in some sense. A big thing to me, you never know what connection is going to open up and turn into more. So if you're just nice to everyone and just do the best you can, help people here and there, it's really started, like that's gone further than anything else I've done. Just being nice to everyone and giving everybody the same respect that you give someone that's bigger definitely helps there. And I don't remember the second question in that, the travel part, I think.
You're good. I asked it because I put a lot into it. Talk about what some of the places you've been able to travel to, and what's been your favorite place to travel to and why.
Everybody always asks if I'm going to leave like Central Arkansas and go to a big city and do all that. And to be honest with you, I don't really see the point in doing that. Obviously, it would help, from social media platform and stuff. It would help if I was in New York or Chicago, a big LA, a big city and stuff like that. But you also got to keep in mind when you go to places like that, I would have to start over completely. I would have to, my brand would be nothing there. They don't know who I am there. So I've kind of built my brand here. I'm trying to turn it into real estate, like I said. So, having my brand and keeping it going is a big thing. But the downside of that, you have to travel. And, luckily the North Rock game last week was in Maumelle, but their next one I'm going to it's in Jonesboro. And then the week after that, it's in Memphis. Like Friday, I'm going to Fayetteville for the Razorback game. Like it takes a toll on you, but it's everything starts to pay off eventually. And if you do the time, you get the rewards. There's not always good stuff happen here. Sometimes you have to go to this game that's further away where you can get paid for this and that. Like you just have to pick up where you can as much as you can. Like stuff happens all over the place in Arkansas. That's just part of it. And then my favorite place. I love taking pictures at Bud Walton. It's kind of nothing really compares. I'm a big Razorback fan, but definitely the coolest place was Cowboy Stadium. I took pictures there for the A&M game. It's really cool. Everything about it's cool.
I know this is your brand, this is your life, this has become who you part of, but has there ever been a time, or no, and I want to ask that, what keeps you motivated? Because I'm sure there are times that, everyone we go through things.
Yeah, I know that. I know what you're gonna say. Definitely. When I first started getting out with UCA, I thought about quitting. Like I really did, and that was even when my brand was starting to grow, take off. It was just a lot. I was burnt out. I didn't really know. Actually, there's been different. Like even when I stopped with North Little Rock, my senior year, I thought, well, now what? Like it's over now. I guess I can just hang up the camera or whatever you want to call it. Like I guess it's time to put it to rest. But each time, I mean, there's times where I've taken time off here and there.
Yeah.
Not really so much lately. I've kind of been full throttle for the last year or two, but before that, I really thought about quitting a couple of times just because I was so burnt out and it was taking a toll on me, and stuff really wasn't moving the way I thought it should or would, and I kind of just stopped looking at it that way. Um, Followers and likes, all that stuff, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But I started seeing more of like, I guess, my place in sports in Arkansas, and it's become really cool. Not even from the platform I have, but not even the recognition, more so the platform. Like I'm helping kids all the time. When it's last year at the end of football season, I was helping kids, get looks from different colleges, and college coaches come to me now, whether they're SEC coaches or FCS coaches, whatever. People. Last night I was at a game and college coaches were asking me about a player. It's really cool being able to help kids get their place and going. It's paying off for sure.
And that's big, but and I'm glad you know that it's okay to. This is you, man. If you need to take time, take time, man. And I think that's one of the. I think the scariest things of kind of being a big platformer is, they have the kind of maybe a little bit of pressure. You always have to be, everywhere, always being on social media, etc. But man, if you need to take time, man. I think that's one of the most important things in life, man, for anyone. So I'm glad you understand that. Because that's big. And
but honestly though, if you take too much time, then someone else is going to come out. I mean, that's just how it is these days. Like if you want to be good at something, you have to put in the work. So you don't see LeBron or even Devo or these different football players and stuff. They've worked their whole life to get to the platform they're at. Like, yeah, sometimes people take time, like Calvin Ridley is now, but sometimes you have to put in the work and just push through things. And sometimes you just have to, if someone says something bad about you on social media, like I get that stuff all the time now, like you just have to block out that stuff and just do you at the end of the day. And if people don't appreciate it, then that's their own problem, I guess.
I like that statement. And you say something now I want to add on to it. How has the hate grown since you've been able to grow your platform? And I'm sure you get a lot of it.
Man, I've gotten some weird stuff over the years. It really just depends. If I want to be controversial, sometimes I'm in that mood. I'll get some stuff, but it's slowed down. But I've definitely had some over the years. There was a kid a couple months ago. He made like 8 or 9 different Instagram accounts just to keep on. Like it'd be like his username would be just a whole bunch of numbers, but I would know who it was just because of the stuff he was saying. Like I don't really try to give much attention to it, and if you don't entertain it, then people won't continue to do it. But if you definitely entertain it, it doesn't stop.
Nick, what advice would you give? I'm sure, and I mean this because there's a lot of people that look at you as a basis if they're trying to get into photography, edits, etc., as a standpoint in the state. What advice would you give to them to maybe get going, or maybe look into doing different things differently to try to maybe get their brand going as well?
Yeah, I have kids almost every day. It seems like it's definitely at least once or twice a week. People will message me these long messages, and they always kind of say pretty much the same things. I usually, I mean, I ask them what advice they need at the time, and then I answer the questions. But a general thing of advice, not even so much for photography, but the edits, and even I guess what you're doing with podcasts and everything. kind of like what I said a little bit ago. If you're not willing to put in the work, then
Yeah.
someone else will, and someone else will take what you want. Really, like there's so many people in the world wanting to do certain things, and social media is such a big thing right now. Everyone wants to do social media, so if you just have to put in the time and be willing to put in the work, and it's slow at first, definitely. It's slow at everything at first. Like LeBron James didn't come out the womb, shooting and dunking and everything else. He had to work for that. So um, you have to work for everything. So that's how I see it.
I like that a lot. And on top of that, you are in a brand that's competitive.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to take those steps sometimes to be better. And
I think a big thing though too, people want to make it a competition, and I have more followers than you, I'm getting more likes than you on this, but everyone has their strengths, and there's people better than me. There's people better than me in the area at certain things, and I'm not scared to admit it. When I first started Rocktown Sports, he's probably my biggest competition now, but and me and him are good friends. He's one of the big reasons I've gotten where I am with photography. If I ever have a question, I go to him and he answers it. I mean, he probably knows that I'm his competition, but it's not really competition though. I mean, I can't be everywhere at once. So, um, like I know with Slam, I saw their list today to upload my stuff from the Little Rock game. It's hundreds of people long. Like there's people covering stuff all over the place, and yeah, those videographers that are everywhere else, that's technically my competition. But at the end of the day, I think everyone's in it for the same reasons. At least if they're not, then they're probably greedy. But um, I think everyone's kind of does it for the same reasons. So.
Nick, how cool is it? I know a big Razorback fan. How cool is it to be a part of that? I know you're good friends with Devo and Jay Will up in Fayetteville, and you cover the football team a lot. So how cool is it to kind of have a close relationship with players? And also, I know you build a lot of relationships with Michael Musselman and Coach Muss down there too. How close and how fun is that to be? And how fun is it to see our Razorbacks? I mean, going to the Elite Eight for the first time in what 20 plus years. How fun is that? And how fun is it to be so close with the team, man?
I mean, I grew up with my family being a Razorback fan. Like I've ever since. I mean, I've probably been to every War Memorial game since I was 4 years old, maybe except for a couple. But I mean, I've been to every single one of them. I mean, it's cool and all. Like Michael Musselman's one of my good friends. We talk weekly. Devo, we talk all the time. Jalen, we talk all the time. But it's cool being friends with all of them. But to be honest with you, I was friends with them before they were even considering the Razorbacks. So I want what's best for them. At the end of the day, they're my friends, and yeah, it's cool seeing Devo hit game winners, or Jalen doing so good, or even the relationship with Michael came from me being a Razorback fan, honestly. But um, for the most part, I want what's best for them. So like it's cool seeing them do all that, but it doesn't make a difference to me if they're playing at UCA, Auburn. Like Chris Moore, he's one of my good friends, but no one talks about that one because he's at Auburn. Like there's people all over the place that they need to go places where it's best for them. So it doesn't make a difference to me where they're at. I'm glad to see my friends doing good.
Absolutely. And I think that's another big connection thing because it's tough to maintain a lot of that because I'm sure there are times that you're working and you got someone close to you who's also doing their thing when you kind of try to balance that on top of other things. But that's really important. I like the way you look at that. That's really big. Nick, outside of sports, is there anything that you do to occupy your time? I know you're a big sports fan as well, but what are things that you do to occupy your time outside of sports?
Um, I like hanging out with my friends for sure. We do a lot of parties at my house. I cook a lot. I'm at the lake all the time. I fish. We have a lake house up on Groose Ferry, so I grew up on the lake. Scuba diving, trying to get into real estate. That occupies a lot of time right now with the tests and everything. The different classes I have to take to get approved. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately with my friends. Not very good, but I get on there and play with them. But yeah, fishing. I like to fish a lot.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
I like smoking stuff on the smoker.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that kind of stuff with pork butts, brisket, smoked macaroni and cheese. I do all that. I'm cooking the ham for Thanksgiving, so
I dig it.
they know my potential and my capabilities for sure. I haven't done it for very long. I've done it for probably a couple years now, but there's definitely a lot of stuff to learn. I like watching YouTube videos and learning.
Nick, as you've been able to grow in the state, what are some of the things that you see differently, in your perspective? What are some of the things that you see differently, in the way that social media is changing the game? And when I say that in terms of what we talked about earlier, is the negativity may be coming at your way, the same way it's going at athletes, etc. In the way that I think a lot of people like Barstool Sports are, we engage with one another through that sometimes. What is the way that, in your perspective, what is it, how is social media changing the game of sports in your perspective?
I see a lot of I saw a tweet a couple months ago of Damian Lillard, I think it was Damian Lillard. He said something about when the cameras aren't on, no one wants to work, and a lot of times people only want to put in the work when people are watching.
Mhm.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I think a lot of people, and I see it firsthand a lot of times now that my platform is getting bigger and bigger. Um, People didn't really want me at their games as much when I was first starting because I didn't have the platform. And now that I have the platform, everyone wants me at their games. So a lot of sometimes people want it for recognition, and sometimes people just want it for attention, you know. Um, and social media is bad about that, but I mean, I can't really talk too much. I'm playing a big role in that. So um, I just think people, so if you still put in the work and if you want to be good at something, then you don't need social media to really tell you that. So
Absolutely. Nick, talk about, if for anyone, and I'll leave a link to your website and things such as etc. When I drop the episode, but talk about your prices, because I want them to be aware too, like what you go into, what goes into what you do on a day-to-day basis. So what are like edits, costs, videos, etc. What are all those things? How much do all of those things cost for you?
um, I usually weigh into account like how much they want. Like if I do stuff with El Dorado and North Little Rock football, if they want stuff throughout the year, then I'll give them a bulk price. Or if I have a good relationship with like North Little Rock football, I've done stuff with them for years. I'm not going to give them the same price that I'm going to give to another team. For photo shoots, I look at it like um, Robinson. They're repeat customers, or um, they like Robinson this past year. They brought 57 kids out there. Um, like that's a lot. That's numbers. I need like the repeat buyers, and they bring that every year. Compared to maybe a smaller school that only brought like Prescott, they only had 10 people out there.
Mm-hmm.
So um, just have to look at it like that. How often they want things, how detailed do they want it, um, how long am I there for photography or video, how long of a video do you want. You really have to just there's a lot of other moving parts that you have to put into account. If I have to drive, how far is it? So, so I
Uh,
don't have a set price, but
yeah,
I mean it's usually in the same ballpark, but you have to weigh in other factors for sure.
yeah, I got you. Is there any particular sport that you enjoy covering the most?
Um, I'll probably basketball the most. I like football a lot. It's pretty close to basketball, but my platform's definitely feels like it's grown more around basketball, and that definitely probably helps because a lot of people know me for basketball more. So
Are there any other people in your field, whether it be in state or out of state, that you kind of look up to, that you kind of, look up and look at your work and look at their work and see, what can you do better, etc. Any people like that
yeah,
out there for you?
yeah. For photography, I mean he's my competitor, but Jason Sterling, Rocktown Sports,
Mhm.
I've looked up to him ever since I started with all of this. For video, I like Cam Beverly a lot. I like Lou Rice. Um, for graphics, there's a Twitter account called SMS Sports, Skull Sports, or something like that. and they post a lot of like college athletic stuff, and I like watching that. Zeb Wilson, he does stuff with the Razorbacks.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him. I like watching his stuff for sure. Georgia's graphic designer, his name is Jackson Collier. I like him a lot. I've been friends with him for a long time. Yeah, there's people out there that I have my little circle that I've networked with for sure.
I don't want to keep it for too long, man. But I do appreciate you, and this is a question that I get to with every guest, and it's something that I really do enjoy getting the answer to. And the question is, and I make it in a broader term, but when you're gone, or the legacy you want to leave behind, or what are some things that you want others to maybe know about you that maybe they didn't about you? In the same, that kind of goes into the same room. What is the legacy you want to leave behind for yourself?
Like you want like what people need to remember me for?
Yeah.
Definitely a hard worker, passionate, respectful. Yeah, probably those: hard work, respectful, passionate.
Why are those so important for you, man?
Well, I've touched on hard work quite a bit throughout this. So definitely those reasons. Passionate, you have to be passionate about something, and you have to do what you love. But having a passion for something will make you get through those times you think about giving up on certain things. If you're passionate about something, that outweighs those thoughts every single time. And then respectful, like you kind of touched on with your connections and relationships and stuff. You're respectful with everyone, and I mean, word travels. So if you're nice to everyone, and they might know someone else that's even bigger that they can put you on with. So
Yeah.
you have to be respectful to everyone and make as many connections as you can. It's not. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not only about how much money you make or the people you. I mean, not how much money you make or followers you have and like that. It's more about people you know, and I mean, they can set you up more than anything else. Just a normal job or whatever. Just the people you know goes further than that.
I appreciate that, man. Hard worker, passionate, and respectful. I want everyone to remember that. Hard worker, passionate, respectful. That's the three biggest things he wants you guys to remember about him. And I appreciate you for doing this, man. Taking the time out your schedule to come and talk with me, man. I had a lot of fun. It's fun for me if we're talking Arkansas natives and seeing you guys do a lot of great things. So I appreciate you. I get the shirt, man. I really do. I've been wanting one for months, man. I gotta.
Yeah. Well, after this is over, we can mail one out to you. But
all right, bet. Any shout outs you want to give to anyone, man?
No, I'm good.
Nick, I'm sure you're willing to, but put your social medias out for people to follow you if they're not following you already. Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is for you, man.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's all I got, man. I really do appreciate you, dog. We wish the best for you. Keep working, dog. I love seeing you grow, and a lot of your edits have become some of my favorites. That Jay Wills one last year, it was a lot of fun, and I know he's growing a lot too. So I appreciate you, dog, and keep working, man. I really do.
Yep. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. One more episode. And I know this will be out Sunday, but I'll put a clip in. Brian North Little Rock this Friday. State semifinals. I'll be there. Come see, if you see me, speak. Don't be scared. Okay. Speak. Say what's up. It's gonna be a good game. 7A is looking real good this year. I would love to see a Brian Conway rematch, but not gonna jinx anything. But appreciate you again, Nick. And best of luck to everyone. God bless y'all.